All right, y'all, let's talk about phones for a second. Specifically, the iPhone 15 Pro came out late last year, the same time as every single iPhone. Is it still worth it in 2024? I'll tell you about my experience. So, I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to iPhones, I don't think anybody should be upgrading every single year. I don't think that iPhones were created to be updated every single year in regards to like switching to the new and the latest and the greatest. I was in Best Buy yesterday actually with somebody, and I was looking at the models between the 13 and the 14, and I was trying to ask myself, like, really, what is the difference? And like, I don't think there was. And then I was looking at the 15, the 15 Pro, and I'm just gonna be truthfully honest here. I think the 15 is probably gonna look the same as the 16, the same as the 17. So if you're coming from something like the 12, then yeah, absolutely. I think the iPhone 15 would be a great update. If you're coming from something like the 14, then no, I don't think a 15 would be a pretty good update. Now, in regards to how it's holding up really well. I like the material on the side. Apple claims that it's much lighter than the materials like the iPhone 12, 13, and I have actually the 12 right here, and I have the 15 right here. Now, is it actually like a significant weight difference? No, not really. But in my opinion, these phones are never heavy to begin with, to be honest. The cameras are great. They're iPhone cameras. In my opinion, Apple makes the best video cameras specifically. I'll go ahead and let you take a look at some examples here that I was able to film of just how good the stabilization is and how good the smooth motion is, as well as how accurate a lot of the colors are too. I really like the video camera on the iPhone. Most of the time when I'm out and about, I'll actually use the iPhone to replace B-roll footage when I don't have my DSLR around, and I don't feel too bad about it too, because the quality, especially when just watching back on YouTube on a mobile phone, is pretty much close to the same, to be honest. One of the things that does irk me about the iPhone 15 Pro just right off the bat that has gotten progressively worse throughout my time of ownership, and to be honest, it wasn't that good to begin with when I first got the phone, was the battery life, and still is the battery life. I cannot get through an entire day of charge for the life of me. I have to charge either halfway through the day or maybe even three-fourths through the day. Even with the iPhone 15 Pro Max as well. With the Max too, I have to end up charging it probably like 80% throughout the day. So if battery life is your thing, specifically, I would not recommend the 15 Pro, the small model, especially if you're like a super user or a power user. If you're just somebody who's on their phone heavy, nah, battery life is just not it when it comes to this model. The one thing that I really do admire about Apple, though, is their consistent software updates. And the one thing that I do like is whether your phone's 3, 4 years old or, a few models back there, you still get the same software updates as these new iPhone 15 Pros, which is really great. And this is something I will continue to come to expect moving forward. The software never fails me. Phone is super snappy. It's very streamlined. I never really have issues with the iPhone software. The main gripe that I really have with iPhone is that their designs don't change, which, have me lean more towards Android because it leaves me feeling uninspired and uninterested. But, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? The one thing that still irks me, though, till this day is just Apple's refusal and inability to be able to properly have a text message chat back and forth with Android phones without it disrupting the quality of the service. Because I have a lot of friends on Android phones, and I also have quite a few Android phones too that I like to switch back and forth in between. And Apple makes it a really big hassle to change from the iPhone, switching over to an Android. Some of my messages don't come over when I switch over to an Android. I have to ask some of my contacts to stop messaging my iMessage email and all my things associated with it and shut off iMessage for me and only text me through my phone number. And when we are texting multimedia messages or anything like that, since it's not working, at least currently with Google RCS, the messages that come over are just awful. Like, it looks like 240p, maybe even less than 240p. So what I actually have to do as a solution for that is I have to use WhatsApp. to text my folks over on Android. Now, there is a good side to this as well because Google announced, or maybe they weren't supposed to announce, but later this year in the fall, Apple is going to be integrating RCS into their message service capabilities. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of a smoother, more high quality multimedia messaging for videos and pictures. And, wishful thinking here, but maybe they'll make the transition, if you want to leave the Apple ecosystem, a little bit better too by not making it so difficult every time for you and your contacts to have to be able to switch things and move things around just because you want to leave their ecosystem. All in all, though, man, I got no complaints. This phone has been great aside from the battery life, if that's something that you're okay with. If I'm going to recommend anything for you guys, go to Apple's website and scroll to the very bottom where it says Apple Store, click the drop down and go into the refurbished section and buy those phones. Those phones are pretty much brand new, but just for less, right? So this is something I would recommend, or if you want to go on back market as well. Back market has never failed me when it comes to getting used phones too. But in 2024, I would say the iPhone 15 is still a great deal. It's still a great performer. It'll do everything that you need to do and more. Just the battery life is just a little bit bad. I would recommend it if battery life is your thing. Again, go for the iPhone 15 Pro Max or just the iPhone 15, which honestly would be my main recommendation. If you're torn between the 15 Pro and the iPhone 15, if all you use it for is maybe some photo editing, social media, a couple things here and there just like that, some basic tasks that don't really require high power usage, I would actually recommend you do the iPhone 15 instead of the iPhone 15 Pro, save you a little bit more money, okay? That phone's gonna last you a really long time too. My sister's got that phone, she loves it, right? So that's just a quick update on the iPhone 15 Pro. Nothing much to say more that hasn't already been said by everybody else. Well, I hope you guys found some value in this one. Until next one, take care. Peace.